All right, guys, time for another Bearded Wonder Explains. This time we're looking at something called disposable income and innovation. So, when we talk about disposable income, no, we are not talking about money that you can literally throw away. However, we are talking about money that is unnecessary, and so you have options as to how you spend it. For example, everybody needs shelter of some kind. It's not really optional for human existence. Food is the same thing. And so we're going to have to spend money on these things called necessities. And depending on how much of your paycheck that is going to limit your options for what you do. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to spend money on things that aren't quite necessities, but are kind of necessary for your quality of life, like your education, healthcare, and cars and other things like that. Are they necessities? No, not exactly, but you kind of need them in order to function within our modern society. And so they're kind of like this, what I'm going to call a quality of life investment. They're not quite necessities, but they're also pretty important. And that leaves the rest of your income to be spent on savings and disposable income. And so what we want to do is we want to focus on this thing that we're calling disposable income. Now, in history, as we gained the ability to get more things from factories and other things like that, things became less expensive, which let people spend less money on their necessities. Or less percentage of their paycheck. What that does is that gives that money to disposable income. You can now spend that money. And what do you spend it on? Well, you spend it on more fancy things from more factories. And buying those things from those factories ends up creating more factories and more stuff. So we kind of have this loop that's going on. At the same time, all that stuff that you're getting from the factory, a lot of it starts saving you time. So now what am I going to do with all that extra time that I have on my hands? Well, I'm going to invent things. I'm going to invest it in myself. A lot of people don't just sit home and watch TV with that extra time. They become inventors and they make wicked cool things that can take you back to the future, for example. And so that's going to raise my income. I'm hoping that by making a new invention, I'm going to get more income. When I get more income, I can spend less money on my necessities and more money on my disposable income. And you can see how this loop happens, at least from the consumer side of things. However, it's not just the consumer, it's also the business side of things. For example, let's look at a retail situation in today's economy. So, for example, innovation can change things. Those companies in retail need different people to do different things. They need people to work in stock to keep the shelves stocked. They need lots of cashiers. Usually when I go to the store, they need more than what they have, and I end up getting frustrated because I have to wait forever. But they also need people in distribution and management, all of that kind of stuff. And then we have innovation. We have these beautiful things called self-checkouts, which allows me to go to the store and not have to interact with another human being. And so the question becomes, what are all these people who used to be cashiers going to do? And for a long time, we used to think, oh, they're going to actually get fired. So this innovation is a bad thing because people lose their jobs. What turns out is that's not what happens. The store, because they didn't really spend a lot of money on the machine, now they have 3 extra people, and they're like, well, shoot, how can I make my business nicer to shop at? And the answer is, I'm going to give these people new things to do. New things like delivery drivers and personal shoppers, especially during coronavirus. These are really nice features. We can have people walk around the store for us and then stick it in a locker or bring it and stick it in the trunk of our car. Or brought to our house. And that wouldn't be possible if we didn't have to pay people to stand in front and be a cashier. But now that we have machines for that, we have new opportunities. And this is great for our customers. This doesn't just happen in our economy today, if we're talking about like the progressive era, the 1910, 1920, 1930 kind of range, this is when the Industrial Revolution really starts to kick in, which means that we have new equipment. And what that means is that we don't need everybody to be a farmer anymore. And so all these people are like, well, what are we going to do now that this one guy with this one machine can do the job of 10 or sometimes literally like hundreds of people? Well, the answer is they just start doing things that other people want to pay for. Now that we have all this extra time, we might as well do something. So we can be DJs like DJ Gilligill in the His Owls. We can also go work in the factory. We can be teachers. We can be business investors. We can be scientists. We can be web programmers. We can be baseball players. We can be whatever the heck we want. And that's made possible by this innovation. And as you can see, this is kind of a loop, right? Like the more innovation we get, the more money the innovator gets, but then that frees up people to do other things, which lets them sell those things to other people, maybe things that they couldn't buy before. And so this is kind of a snowball that just kind of rolls down the hill, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We're seeing that even today. People, even during coronavirus, a lot of people with this new time at home have started to think about ways that they can use that time to start businesses or other things that they hadn't thought of before. The internet has made tons of businesses possible that were never possible before. And so this innovation kind of loop just kind of continues to add products. It continues to add time, save time, and that time gets reinvested into the economy, which ends up creating more opportunities, more products, better lives for all of us. And so that's kind of the connection there between innovation and technology and disposable income. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day.